Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FloridaManFirearms, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Beretta M9 service pistol. This one is specifically the 92 FS, although there are very few differences between an M9 and a 92 FS. To my knowledge, I think the sights are a little different, but same gun. I am a huge fan of the Beretta M9. Not only for nostalgia reasons, it's just, this is one of the most soft shooting 9mm handguns that I've ever shot, and I think it got treated badly by a lot of military members. You got to remember, I've watched a whole bunch of videos on this. A lot of veterans will say they do not like the Beretta M9 because they were either beaten to death or they couldn't shoot straight, and that's because these guns were abused. The military even admitted that they were not changing out springs and parts on time, and on top of that they were using aftermarket parts on these guns. That was totally on them. That's not on Beretta or the gun's fault. These guns are like top tier combat handguns in my opinion. Granted, yes, they're heavy, but that helps in aiding recoil, and I just think this gun got kind of screwed real bad in the recent handgun trial, and I understand that they wanted a modular handgun, but the Beretta M9A3 that Beretta submitted, in my opinion, should have been the U.S. military's next handgun. But that being said, let's take a look at this old warhorse. The Beretta is probably the most this gun is very overbuilt. When you put in the Brigadier slides, they're even more overbuilt. So if you own a Beretta M9 in 2021, or a 92, or an M9A3, know that you got a really good piece of hardware in your hands, and these guns are awesome. I've seen a lot of people trade their Berettas in and get the SIG P320s because they just have to have what the military has. Personally, I would never do that. This gun, there's nothing wrong with it. If you only had one gun and this was it, there's no issue with that at all. The Beretta M9 is just a great handgun in my opinion. Mel Gibson even carried one of these in Lethal Weapon, so what does that tell you, right? And so did Bruce Willis in Die Hard. But the one downfall there is, now that this isn't a perfect pistol, and I'm probably praising it more than normal people would, but one of the downfalls that this pistol has that a lot of people complain about, and I can understand, is the double action trigger. It is ungodly heavy. I mean, this is something that you have to train with and get used to, which I can understand why they went to a striker fired handgun. It's one trigger pull. But if you can get used to that, if you just train on the one same weapon platform, you can get used to that double action trigger. It's not too bad that it's unbearable, but it is heavy. The second issue I have with this is most standard M9s and 92s have the decocker safety. This one is simply just a safety. It decocks it and leaves it on safe. Now the issue with that is you have to literally consciously flip that back up. For some people that could be an issue. If you go to rack the slide like this, see that? It just decocked it and it's on safe. I understand those criticisms of the handgun 100%. It's just a training issue. But if you put this as a Type G, then it goes straight back up, then you got the double action. I mean, at least you could fire the pistol at that point. But anyhow, so that's the Beretta, guys. There's a lot of history with this gun, and I felt the need to do a video on it. It's not a bad gun. If you go out and buy one today, you're well armed, in my opinion. So that's the Beretta M9, and I'll see y'all in the next one. The Beretta M9 is just a great handgun in my opinion. I mean, hell, Mel Gibson carried one in Die Hard, so what does that tell you? Now the downfall is with the Beretta, now it has... What?
Bruce Willis.
No, Mel Gibson.
Not Die Hard.
Die Hard, fuck me.
Lethal Weapon? You mean Lethal?
Lethal Weapon. Fuck me, dude.
What, did
Jesus.
he carry a Beretta and Lethal Weapon?
Yes, Mel Gibson.
All right, so that's Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon, Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
Okay.